Welcome to a special bonus edition of the Andy Staples Show presented by Sling. Ari Wasserman, college football is all the way back. The text message you sent me before we started this broadcast is, I need to put a shirt on. I think that sums it all up after the Backyard Brawl.
Yeah, I was just trying to be in my natural habitat, Andy. You know, watching college football. The wife's out of town. Baby's upstairs sleeping, and let's cross our fingers that she stays sleeping throughout the night. But America deserved overtime in that game, Andy. I mean, when we saw that catch live at the end, down to the 1 yard line.
He sold the hell out of that. It was not a catch, but he sold it so well that I was believing it for a second.
It didn't even cross my mind that it was incomplete. He sold it so well.
It was amazing.
Like, the refs are on the way, get the ball down. They only have one timeout left at the 1 yard line. We got to get this to overtime. And I texted you, like, when there were 6 or 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which game is going to end first, this one or the Penn State game? Because I felt overtime in my loins.
Well, Penn State and Purdue now trending on with an overtime possible score, but we'll get to that later. We actually probably will wind up doing a different bonus video on Penn State and Purdue because we have a lot to talk about with the Backyard Brawl. We've got, stars emerging. CJ Donaldson, what a game. But Keaton Slovis, what a game. 16 of 24, 308 yards for Keaton Slovis in his first game as a Pitt Panther. That's a hell of a debut.
Yeah, I thought both former USC quarterbacks played well. Keaton Slovis got the win there, but, it's really unfortunate that the way that JT Daniels played in this game, that, the backbreaker, or what turned out to be the backbreaker, was a perfectly delivered pass to a wide open receiver who really played his ass off.
Had played a great game. Bryce Ford-Wheaton played an incredible game to that point.
The ball just tipped up, and I think he was in shock when that happened because it's just like,
I just remember, when he dropped back and he let that ball go, I'm like, this is an easy pitch and catch.
Yeah, and the thing that's so crazy about that is that this game, in my opinion, Andy, literally lived up to the title of the rivalry. It was a great game. It was an awesome game, and West Virginia looked, I thought, very good for the large portion of that game. And both teams ran the ball well. Both quarterbacks played well. Inspires hope, through that game if you're a fan of either team. And I just always feel for guys when games end like that, because it didn't feel like West Virginia deserved to lose, even though they did. So
and that's the thing. I mean, let's point out something that doesn't happen often on this show. I correctly predicted the result of a Pittsburgh game against the spread.
If that fair catch at the 1 yard line at the end of the game, if they would have put it down at the 1 on the kickoff, you would have been in trouble.
And I would have lost it.
Ending of all time. But you did. You are starting to tackle that demon. I'm proud of you, Andy.
Yes, I picked West Virginia in our Run Your Pool pick. Play.runyourpool.com/Staples. Yes, play.runyourpool.com/Staples. You can still get in on it. There's hundreds of people entered, but there's lots of games. You can definitely make up the ground if you've missed a few. But yes, I got that one. I had West Virginia +7.5, so I'm good there. But yes, this is how it should start every time. We've been so lucky to have featured games on week 0 Saturday and then on Thursday to open that just lived up to the billing.
It's those type of games that make that type of game right there that we just watched is the reason why I prefer college football to the NFL.
Right, because there's no chance that pick six happens in the NFL. That is a 12-yard gain, a first down, and West Virginia maneuvers easily to kick a game-winning field goal. That is how an NFL game would go down.
Yeah, and I don't know, just the bonkers stuff, the Banana Land stuff.
It was insane. When he releases that, imagine being inside JT Daniels' head as he released that ball. Wow, Bryce is wide open. This is an easy first down. We got to hit 2 more of these, and we can kick a field goal and walk out of here the winner.
Yes. Also, too, after that happened, he came out and played with a lot of poise on that last drive. It didn't end with any points, but I thought that he looked really well. I was very impressed for a guy that came in to the college ranks with all the promise in the world and just really has had injury issues and just hasn't played. I thought that he was a really good player. I mean, if you look at the stats between these two, JT Daniels 23 for 39, 214 yards and 2 touchdowns and a pick. Keaton Slovis had the better game, 16 for 24, 308 yards and a touchdown. And both of these teams, I don't know, was that great football? Was that bad football? Just entertaining football? I don't know, but it was just like the exact thing that you would have hoped we would have gotten on this Thursday night. So I was very pleased with what we were watching.
Keaton Slovis was ridiculously efficient, 12.8 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Now, Pitt didn't run the ball very well. They only averaged 2 yards a carry. West Virginia, because of Donaldson, who was averaging 17.9 yards a carry right before the pick six. That's the thing. I was just like, I just hand it to him until they stop him.
Yeah. What did you think of not going for it on 4th and inches on the drive before? They were on their own 40. They were at the 50, nuts. Right?
Drives me nuts. I saw, you notice Jeff Brom did that in the Penn State game, and it wound up creating a touchdown.
And what's even
for Purdue? Did I say
harder,
Penn State?
Yeah.
Purdue, Penn State.
What's even harder to swallow too is that their running back was gashing them.
Yes, 17.9 yards a carry. Joseph, entertaining bad football. I don't know that was bad football. Well, the pick six was a bad play. No excuses there. That's it. That was a bad play by Bryce Ford Wheaton, who had a lot of great plays in that game. But that was a highly entertaining game that was drunk, even if the fans at the stadium couldn't get drunk because they ran out of beer. Maybe they all were drunk because they ran out of
beer. We've watched 2 games, 2 like major games so far. The Nebraska game in Ireland and Northwestern and this one, and there were 2 major beer storylines in both of those games.
Yeah, guys, if you're going to sell beer at a college football game, maybe order some more.
Yeah, well, especially that one. I mean,
yes.
Come on.
Although, I got to say, if you're a West Virginia fan, after all that, you need something clear or something brown, because beer ain't going to do the trick after that. Because it was really right there.
Yeah.
Right there for you.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, Pitt, if Slovis keeps playing like this, Pitt's defensive line looks like they're as good as advertised. I can see Pitt being a very successful team in the ACC. It looks like they have what they need, and let's
not get through this 10 minutes without talking about Rodney Hammond Jr. That guy looks like he could like squat your car.
It's unbelievable.
He was a really. I mean, he only averaged 4.6 yards a carry, but there were a few carries in that game where he basically just, bulldozed everybody, and those legs were churning. So I wanted to make sure we said his name on this before we got out of here.
Yes, we absolutely do. And there's a couple other guys that we need to talk about, and one of them is Mr. Donaldson, because I mean, golly.
Yeah.
6'2", 240 pounds. It just was a beast.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with West Virginia. If they play the way they did, and they got pressure on Slovis pretty often, they can be competitive in the Big 12, right? That feels like a team that can be competitive in the Big 12.
I think both teams looked like they could be competitive in their respective conferences.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think, even though you are probably heartbroken as a West Virginia fan after that game, you are somewhat optimistic about the rest of this season.
Yes, because I'm with you.
Yeah, and you discover, like, Donaldson could be a star. Maybe it's just this one game, but I got to say, if you average 17.9 yards a carry, there's a good chance you might be able to do some stuff.
There are a lot of West Virginia fans that wish he had 8 carries instead of 7, though.
Yes. That's where, I mean, the 240-pound guy on 4th and 1.
It was inches too. They take a delay of game penalty or something, and they did the no play on infinity, where you try to hard count them into an offsides. And it's like
just run the play. Give it to the big guy and run the play. Hang it out there, because Pitt went the distance anyway. Yards are cheap. Points are precious.
If you are a football fan and your coach goes for it in 4th and inches in that situation at midfield, you can't get mad if they don't get it right. Like he gets to the podium,
right,
and just says,
you don't
"This is
criticize
football.
that.
This is football. Yeah. If we can't get an inch, we don't deserve to win the game." And 100%. That's an acceptable thing to say, and that's over.
I have forever absolved Pete Carroll. He should have handed the ball to Lindale White against Texas.
Yeah.
That was exactly the right call. I don't care that Texas stopped it. It's still the right call, and I'd make it every time.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't want to be the coach that doesn't call it, and then, should have, would have, could have. Like, sometimes you overthink stuff. It's just like, hand the ball to the guy that's averaging 18 yards a carry and hope he can get an inch.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
And then go win the game maybe as a result of it. So,
but for Pitt, what a way to start the season, because they were done. Like, they were done for. They're probably sitting around that 4th and inches as West Virginia lines up for the play going, oh crap, they're going to hand it to that giant guy and we're finished.
Did you watch the post-game interview with Narduzzi by chance, or did you flip to Penn State? I did not
get a chance to see that. I was getting set up for this.
He got really mad at Scott Van Pelt because ESPN apparently predicted that 75% of the fans at Heinz Field, or the new name of the field.
What's it? Acrisure
Field.
I've never put Acrisure on my hamburger or my fries.
Or your chicken fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like me. But he was like, you disrespected our fans, saying that it would be 75% West Virginia, and got mad about it.
It definitely did not sound like 75%.
It wasn't 75%. It
sounded like 75%.
Like, that's what that's at the forefront of your brain when you just won a rivalry game in the first week of the season. And it's like, you know what? This is going to be, and I don't even know if you've put this together yet, Andy, but I think you're going to spontaneously combust next weekend when Tennessee and Pitt play each other.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Like, are you going to be okay? Like, you're Hendon Hooker, Pitt.
I can't wait. I cannot wait because
you were right on that game too. The Tennessee game.
If Hendon Hooker had started the Pitt game last year, Tennessee would have won that game. Now, I don't know that Tennessee wins this game because I don't know how Tennessee's defense is stopping Keaton Slovis. But I can't wait to watch it.
I mean, Ball State didn't have a chance in that game. So not that that's a good straight line comparison.
Pitt.
No, I know. Right. But I just feel like your love for Keaton Slovis and your inability to quit Pitt is going to be quite the thing to watch next week. I'm looking forward to it.
This is going to be a very tough one. If you'd like to put some stakes on it to further turn the screws on me, we could probably make that happen. But
you got to figure out what side you want.
That's going to take a while. I'm going to need some time on that. But Ari, I am so happy that college football is back. Cannot think of a better way to start week 1 than that game, finishing in that crazy way. Ari, welcome to the 2022 football season. To you watching on YouTube, welcome to the 2022 football season. This is the Andy Staples Show presented by Sling. You can find us as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're going live after a lot of games, breaking everything down. We have a lot of fun. We make a lot of weird bets. If Alabama covers against Texas, Ari has to eat an entire bottle of Bijan Robinson's Dijon mustard. If Texas covers against Alabama, I have to eat a whole bottle of Bijan Robinson's Dijon mustard. We might have some stakes on the Tennessee Pitt game. Who knows? But it's going to be a whole lot of fun this season. We cannot wait to share it with you, and we will we'll be around. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Your phone will alert you when we go live. You can come join the show, comment with us, and we're going to have some fun. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast, because we break it down every day of the week.
More thoroughly and more regimented than the bonus videos, by the way. These are just fun, hanging out videos.
It's basically when Ari and I are texting one another and going, oh my God, did you see that? We do a video.
That's the video, yes.
That's when we do a video. So thanks so much for joining us. Smash that subscribe button. We love you. We love the fact that college football is back, and we are going to have a great time this season.